ask you for your blessing and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open our eyes to see wonderful things from this activity. We ask you to open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely. Put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love, and open our spirit so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Our seat.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our attendees. Please raise your right hand if your name was called. For our BAC members, Engineer Eldred Mislang, BAC Chairperson, Mr. Nuni Domingo Quinto, BAC Vice Chairperson, Engineer Armedo Arenas, Probationary Member, Engineer John Liwanag, End User for Infrastructure Projects. For our BAC TWG members, Engineer Jerry Tandok, Accountant Julieta Bacani. For our BAC Secretariat members, headed by yours truly, Consuelo Cruz, Mr. Abelardo Barberan, Mr. J. Natividad, Ms. Joray Vergara, and Ms. Marilo Fernandez. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Connie. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we proceed, may I ask the BAC Secretariat if we have a quorum for this undertaking?
The BAC regular members and the probationary members are present, so we have a quorum, sir.
Okay, so let us now proceed with the pre-bid conference for 2 infrastructure projects. Brian?
Pre-bid conference for contract ID number 24AJ0106 and 24AJ0107. The purpose of this pre-bid conference is to discuss, clarify, and explain the different aspects of the projects of the procuring entity with the prospective bidders. Guidelines held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for bid submission, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the advertisement or posting of bid opportunity. Required for procurement projects with ABC of equal to or more than 1 million pesos. For our first project with contract ID number 24AJ0106 with contract name, number 1, construction of flood control structure along Agno River, Warding Section, Bayambang, Pangasinan. 2, construction of slope protection structure along Barangay San Gabriel 2nd, Bayambang, Pangasinan. Implementing Office, Pangasinan 4th, DEO, under GAA 2024 with ABC equal to 39,200,000 pesos. Scope of works, for Warding Section, construction of concrete revetment resting on Z-type steel sheet pile with a length of 9 meters, with station limits at station 0 plus 000 to station 0 plus 134.75, with a net length of 134.75 linear meter. And for San Gabriel second section, construction of concrete revetment resting on Z-type steel sheet pile with a length of 9 meters, with station limits at station 0 plus 102.2 to station 0 plus 403.00 with the net length of 300.80 linear meter, with contract duration equal to 163 calendar days. And for our second project with contract ID number 24AJ0107 with contract name 1, Rehabilitation of Slope Protection Works along Ingalera River, Barangay Lasip, Calasiao, Pangasinan. 2, Rehabilitation of Slope Protection Works along Ingalera River, Barangay Longos, Calasiao, Pangasinan. 3, Rehabilitation of flood control structures along Marusay River, Barangay Banaoang, Calasiao, Pangasinan. Under GAA 2024 with ABC equal to 49 million pesos. Scope of work for Lasip section, construction of concrete revetment resting on Z-type steel sheet pile with a length of 6 meters with station limits at station 0 plus 819.28 to station 1 plus 001 with a net length of 181.72 linear meter. And for Longos section with construction of concrete revetment resting on Z-type steel sheet pile with a length of 8 meters with station limits at station 0 plus 000 to station 0 plus 164.78 with a net length of 164.78 linear meter. And for Banaoang section, construction of concrete revetment resting on Z-type steel sheet pile with a length of 8 meters with station limits at station 0 plus 000 to station 0 plus 87.8763 with a net length of 87.8763 meters with contract duration equal to 163 calendar days. Supplemental or bid bulletin issued by BAC to answer requests for clarification queries submitted 10 calendar days before deadline or interpretation, and upon BAC initiate to clarify or modify any provision of bidding documents at least 7 calendar days before deadline for bids posted in PhilJEP's and procuring entities website and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. Bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of supplemental or bid bulletin must be informed in writing and allowed to modify or withdraw their respective bids. For eligibility requirements, Class A documents, legal documents, valid PhilJEP registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, or registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperatives or its equivalent document. Mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. In cases of recently expired mayor's or business permits, it shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, provided that the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement. Tax clearance for Executive Order Number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the BAR. For technical documents, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in Section 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised RR of RA 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents. Original copy of bid security, if in the form of surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration, an original duly signed omnibus sworn statement OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do act to represent the bidder. For financial documents, the bidder's audited financial statement showing among others the bidder's total and current assets and liabilities, stamp received by the BRR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission, and the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. As per GPPB Resolution Number 18-2017, in lieu of the Class A eligibility documents which were uploaded and maintained current and updated in PhilJEPs, bidders are required to submit their PhilJEPs Certificate of Registration Platinum membership during bid submission in the case of infrastructure projects pursuant to Section 25.2 AI of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA 9184. Class B documents for joint venture if applicable. Submission and receipt of bids, contents of first envelope technical proposal, PhilJEPs Certificate of Registration, PCAB license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, statement of SLCC, NFCC computation, bid securing declaration, organizational chart, key personnel for the contract, equipment pledge for the contract, and omnibus sworn statement. For bid security, the bid validity period and bid security validity period is equal to 120 calendar days from the date of bid submission. Contents of second envelope, the financial proposal, bid form, bill of quantities, detailed estimates, and cash flow. Bids must be received by the procuring entities back at the address and on or before the date and time indicated in the bid data sheet. Any bids submitted after the deadline for submission and receipt of bids prescribed by the procuring entity pursuant to ITB Clause 18 shall be declared late and shall not be accepted by the procuring entity. For bid evaluation, the financial component of the bids of each past bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The BAC shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceed the ABC. These are the following factors in considering the evaluation of bid prices. For post-qualification, verification of legal requirements like licenses, certificates, permits, agreements submitted by the bidder, and non-inclusion in blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of Revised IRR of RA 9184. Verification of technical requirements like single largest completed contract similar to the contract, performance in ongoing government and private contracts, authenticity and correctness of bid security, and conformity with the technical specification. Verification of financial requirements like audited financial statements, especially current assets and liabilities, and updated NFCC versus ABC. For contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid as a result of detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. The successful bidder shall be notified through the issuance of notice of award within the bid validity period and must be confirmed by the successful bidder in writing within 10 days upon receipt thereof in accordance with Section 37.2.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA 9184. Common reasons for rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post-disqualification of bidder. Number 1, failure to submit original copy of the surety bond certified by Insurance Commission indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and the name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bid. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance within 30 calendar days and to complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures. substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contract's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. Common errors in the submission of bids, incomplete pages of bid documents, technical and financial. Authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. For single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only. For cooperative or corporation, board secretary certificate and board resolution. And for joint venture resolution or agreement. And for partnership, as indicated in the articles of partnership. Reminders for these two projects, 24 AJ0106 and 24 AJ0107, the deadline for submission of bids will be on April 4, 2024 at 9 a.m. Deadline for submission of clarification, 10 days before submission of bids, and the number of copies of bid proposal, 1 original copy only, in the place of submission of bids, DPWH Pangasinan 4th District Engineering Office, Tulyao, Santa Barbara, Pangasinan. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Brian. And this ends our pre-bid conference and live streaming on YouTube. As back chairperson, I now call this undertaking adjourned. Thank you, everyone.